the truth about the Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. versus Canelo I was born ready Alvarez negotiations. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you guys hit that like button and subscribe button. Now, I did a video almost a week ago, 4 days ago, and it was called Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. calls out Canelo Alvarez and Triple G after his win in his comeback fight. He fought in Monterrey, Mexico against Dominic Brich, and he made weight, everything, and he won the fight via decision. After he says he has a hit list, he's ready for the big names again, and he included Canelo and Triple G. Now, there's a lot of reports, a lot of people talking about it, that he is in negotiations to fight Canelo Cinco de Mayo 2017. I want to give my thoughts and kind of give some clarification on what's really going on and things of that sort. So again, make sure you guys subscribe. Also, go to my Instagram. I post a lot of stuff. Rest in peace, Craig Sager. He just passed away. And then also shout out to my dude who does crazy drawings. This is his Anthony Joshua. So it's all on my Instagram. Make sure you guys give him a follow. He has some ill drawings. Now, as far as Julio Cesar Chavez and Canelo, it's a fight. You know, I would watch it because it's a fight. I'm all for spotlight fights. If it's even people hate Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor, but it would bring a lot of recognition and it would bring a lot of exposure to the sport of boxing and also the UFC. So realistically, those business fights that could be entertaining and are going to do a lot in terms of put a lot of sets of eyes on the sport, I usually don't have a problem with it. Now, you could argue this fight should have taken place years ago. I remember distinctly, I've always been a boxing fan. This is his last fight. Looked pretty lit in Mexico. I remember distinctly Canelo and Chavez Jr. were coming up around the same time, and you had fans that were split, and they were split on picking sides, like who's the better. Some people thought Canelo was a pretty boy and he was spoon-fed, and then some people like Chavez. Some people said he was lazy back then. Some people said he was living off his dad's name. But the point is, you had healthy conversations about who would have the better career and what would happen if they fought and who would win. And obviously, we've seen who had the better. Canelo clearly has had the better career. He has one loss, never been stopped. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., he got stopped by Fonfara, and he got beat up pretty good by Sergio Martinez. So we already know that Canelo has had the healthier career. But even though it didn't happen then, I would still see the fight now, just because I think it's big for boxing. You have two big names, whether you like it or not. Some people hate Chavez Jr., say he's lazy and disgrace his dad's name, whatever. But it's a big name, and Canelo is a big name. So two of the biggest names, if not the biggest names in Mexico, for whatever reason, fighting, I think it would be a big event. So the only problem I really have is it's always politics in boxing. For example, Triple G, for example, is a person who him and his team have said he could fight from 154 to like 168. And then you like start sifting through it, and he's not willing to go to 54 for Canelo or 55 for Canelo or Cotto or Erislandy Lara. It's only for Floyd Mayweather or Pacquiao, the two guys who aren't really even full-fledged 154 pounders, like the smallest guys basically. Same thing with Canelo. At one point, he was trying to press Triple G to make 155, him and his team, and he said, "Oh, my body's not ready to move up," and things of that sort. And he's like, "I'll move up when I feel like it." And Oscar De La Hoya was just on ESPN's First Take, and he says, "Oh, Canelo, he's actually a 154 pounder, but why was he fighting at Canelo weight?" You know what I'm saying? Except for Liam Smith, and the only reason, in my view, that he fought Liam Smith at 154 was because he had to drop the pound, because it was a fight that nobody was wanting to see and nobody desired, and the only selling point that you could possibly use is the fact that Liam Smith was a champion. Even though he was unproven as a champion, you could use that he had a belt. You know what I mean? He fought for a vacant belt, and he fought for the belt and won it. And that's the only saving grace that you could use for that fight even being made, because if he fought at 155, Liam Smith's title wouldn't be eligible because it would be over the 154-pound junior middleweight limit. You know what I mean? So I think Canelo was in a situation where, like, if we fight this guy, we have to drop the extra pound. Otherwise, we'd be fighting for a beltless Liam Smith, and his name doesn't really hold any weight. And you've seen what happened in the actual fight, right? I mean, look at the comments, cherries and stuff like that. So he had to. But aside from that, Canelo's been fighting at his own weight class. From Floyd Mayweather was at 152, but even after that, from like Angulo all the way to like Amir Khan, it was at Canelo weight of 155. So Lada, James Kirk, all those fights. So to me, it doesn't make sense. That really doesn't make sense that you're willing to go up to 160, 165 possibly to fight Chavez Jr., but you said you had to acclimate for Golovkin at 160, which is 5 pounds less. So to me, that if this fight happens at 165, that is a telltale sign that Team Canelo believes that Golovkin is a much bigger challenge, because they were saying, oh, we have to move up and we're not going to fight him straight away. So if you're going to just jump from 154, which you last fought, basically 10 pounds, 9 pounds higher to fight Chavez Jr., that means you don't think he has the skill set, and you think pretty much it'll be easy work, so you don't care about giving up the weight. It's the same thing that Gennady Golovkin did. He didn't want to fight. Him and his team wanted Andre Ward. Instead of at the full 168, they said they wanted to catch weight at 164, which they later denied, but that's another story. But they were willing to fight Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. and also Carl Froch at the full 168. So you see, there's a lot of trickery and little subtle gestures in boxing where people will, like, it's like, to me, that's pretty much what the definition of what cherry picking is. You will only fight certain people at certain weights because you feel they're easy pickings or they're easier. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not fighting undefeated Andre Ward, Olympic gold medalist at 168, but I'll fight Carl Froch, the guy he beat. You know what I mean? I'll fight Chavez Jr. And if Canelo fights against Chavez Jr., that's the same exact thing. Like, man, we ain't fighting Golovkin straight away at 160, but we're going to fight 5 pounds north of that to fight Chavez Jr. And you can say, oh, it's because it's a money fight. Golovkin's a money fight too. So that's the only thing I don't really like about boxing. And Canelo's clearly big enough to make 160. You know what I'm saying? So back to Chavez Jr. versus Canelo. It's a money fight. It's a big money fight, and it's a fight that makes sense. Should it overstep the Triple G fight? Absolutely not. But we know boxing, and we know how the game goes. And if the money's making sense, which it might, because of, again, you have two Mexican stars who have transcended and came over to America and built a name that people know, it's a chance. You know what I mean? The money might be right. People between Golden Boy and Al Heyman and all them, they might be able to get the numbers to the point where they make this fight. You see Canelo's brother and Chavez Jr.'s brother, they've already fought, you know what I mean? And that was kind of like a family war. This would be much bigger because these two out of the family are bigger stars than the brothers that fought. The Alvarez brother that fought, and also, I think it was Omar Chavez that fought. So it is what it is. I would watch it. That's the thing with me. Like, I could speak my opinion, but I'm also realistic. I would never say, oh, I'm not watching that. He should fight Triple. I mean, obviously I want to see Canelo Triple G the most, but I would definitely still watch the Chavez Jr. fight, just because, again, most people would watch the fights with two big names and just to see who would win. Canelo, even though he's pretty big, I think he on fight night would probably be giving up a lot of size to Chavez Jr. Chavez Jr. also has a good chin. Most people sleep on it because discipline issues or because he's been knocked out. But I believe that Chavez Jr. would clearly be the bigger man on fight night. Canelo is big, but he would be the one traveling up and stuff like that. So it's all politics. I'm not sure what'll happen. I don't know if this fight is real, but allegedly the counter offer was the 165 from Chavez Jr. saying, hey, I'll meet you there. And that's the other thing. I don't know See, you got the little Mexican poncho. This would be big. It'd be a big fight, trust me. In 2017, it would be a big fight. But that's the other thing when it comes to Julio Cesar Chavez. He looked like he made weight pretty good, but we haven't seen him at a weight that low and actually make it since probably like Sergio Martinez. So he looks like he's pretty big. He's had some layoffs and stuff like that. So can he even make 165? Look at the dude's back. He's a big dude. You know what I mean? So can he even comfortably make 165? These are all questions that we don't know. This is him on the scale and on weight, no problem. That was at making 168. So to people, if you know anything about making weight and stuff like that, you'll know that a lot of times, oftentimes, it's those last few pounds that are the hardest to lose. Like your body, because your body gets to a certain threshold and it's like, I've given you everything that I can give. And then those additional, it can even be a half a pound. It might be hell to lose that. And again, Chavez Jr., he has some height on him. He's pretty tall and things like that. So I don't know. Maybe he can make 165 with the right nutritionist, but I always see him. He has these sweatsuits and stuff.
Okay, now.
Viva Bruce!
Viva Bruce! Viva Julio!
Yes!
The best matchmaker.
Today we chant.
And Mr. Brad, we don't forget our man.
So it'd be a big fight, despite what anyone else is talking about. You have the son of a Mexican legend, and you have Mexico's biggest star in Canelo, who, if you could do 51,000, 50 plus thousand versus Liam Smith in Texas, I mean, what do you think Chavez Jr. versus Canelo would be? And it would kind of be like, even though there's some fights in boxing that are like too little too late, it would still be a fun fight in terms of the styles and the crowds and the build up and stuff like that, to the point where people, I think, would really tune in to see this and see what would happen. And that's just my personal opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. possibly facing Canelo. Cinco de Mayo, that's another thing, is the timing would be right. A Mexican-American holiday, and then you have two of Mexico's biggest stars fighting each other. I don't really remember the last time that we've seen that. Maybe Oscar de la Hoya versus Chavez's dad, Chavez Sr. I don't know off the top of my head, because for the longest it's been Floyd Mayweather, possibly with a Latino Hispanic fighter, but I don't remember the last time it was two Mexican names going at it on Cinco de Mayo. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you give your fight predictions. Drop it in the comment section. Make sure you share the video, like the video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off.